Hello, everyone. I'd like to invite you to this testimonial by my lovely client, Sam here. Sam's here to share her experience with working with me. And I'm just going to introduce her. So, hello, Sam. How are you doing?
Hello. Hi, Julie. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this, because I do realise that A, you don't have to, and B, it is quite outside your comfort zone, but you're doing
Yeah,
the thing. You're unstoppable now, aren't you? So you just
yeah,
keep pushing yourself.
I'm doing it. Yeah, yeah. Plus, I'd like to let everyone know that's going through anxiety at the moment to address it, sort it out.
Yeah, because it's quite sad, isn't it, when you do see people struggling and they don't, and it seems such a waste of people's lives, doesn't it?
Yeah, who wants to live your life like that? It was debilitating for me, and now I feel free and I feel like a changed person. My mindset that you taught me, all different mindsets and the breathing, everything is just it's just transformed me.
Oh, brilliant. And that's so lovely to hear. So I guess let's go back to the beginning then. You were first, actually, you were recommended to me, well, by someone as well, weren't you? To actually, which is
Yeah,
nice, who I've
yeah,
worked with before. But your main thing was anxiety, but there was other aspects to it, wasn't there? Do you want to just do a quick overview without giving, your life secrets away?
yeah. Now, a lot of childhood issues that have come up from nowhere, really. And I was getting flashbacks from instances that happened to me in my childhood. I mean, I already had the anxiety there, but it exacerbated it even more to a point where I just thought I was going mad, and I just didn't think I could continue to live daily life the way I was going. So that's why I had to address it.
How was it impacting your daily life then? What was you not being able to do, and how was it making you feel?
Was making me just not doing normal things like meeting up with a friend. If it was out of area, oh, I can't go, I can't do that because I don't want to drive, I didn't feel confident to drive. um you know just basic things that people would probably just get in a car and do anyway, they were doing that. I'd lost a lot of confidence as well.
Hmm.
And I would rather just stay in. Actually, I wouldn't go out. I'd probably go out with my dog once a day, and that was about it. But socialising was quite hard for me,
Mm.
and I'd rather just stay in my bubble, which was my house, and not do
Mm.
anything.
Yeah. And I think that's quite common for a lot of people, actually, isn't it? Especially since COVID. That kind of I think to me as well, actually, because suddenly you were in your house all the time, and we were forced not to be around people. And lots
Yeah,
of people have struggled, I think, post COVID.
yeah. But I've got to admit, sort of COVID, I sort of, well, that's all right then. That's an
You quite
excuse.
enjoyed it.
Quite enjoyed it. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
Get to a point where you just think I can't live my life like that anymore, and I need to go out and do things and just I feel normal, feel normal. And I didn't feel normal because of the anxiety telling me that I can't do that. And it ruled my life basically. But with the one session I had with you, it transformed me. I could do it. And I became unstoppable through it because I've got a different mindset now. And I'm not saying that I'm completely cured of anxiety because it is still a work in process, but I recognise when the ugly little fairy comes back, I know it's there, and I'm like, I can breathe through it, and I can change my mindset to go ahead and do things that were stopping me before.
That's
So
brilliant. Yeah.
yeah,
And you raise a really good point there, really, because anxiety, we don't ever want to get rid of it completely, because that's, if you were crossing the road and a lorry's coming towards you, you want that fight and flight, don't you, to get out of the way. So
yeah.
we don't want to completely flatline people so they've got no anxiety, but it's about having like realistic anxiety, isn't it? About
Daily fun.
state of awareness,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah, basically. And just to be able to function and not have anxiety taking away basic functionings that you should be able to do on a daily
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah.
And that's what's helped me massively. So
And I know one of the things that you had was around eating as well, wasn't it? Where you just didn't like eating. Do you want to just go into a little bit about that?
yeah, I mean, with the eating thing, I'd feel guilty about eating.
Mm.
Um, I would get a horrible anxiety, sort of anxious feeling in my stomach, and then I'd feel guilty for eating what I'd eaten, and it wouldn't be anything bad like chocolate and crisps and stuff. It'd just be basically dinner, but because it had maybe carbs in it or something, that made me feel guilty about eating that. So I just changed the way I eat now. I sort of do a meal at lunchtime, and then I don't eat now. Big meal at lunchtime, and then I don't eat now till the following day. But that's works for me.
That was also though because you don't have that feeling anymore, do you? The feeling that you called it your anxiety stomach, didn't you?
It's not even an issue. It doesn't even come into my head now. That's completely gone.
Mm.
As well as my sleep, that's so much better. I mean, it's improved massively, my sleep.
Mm.
So, those sort of things, just basic things to some people, but to me they were big things, and I couldn't function properly because with the anxiety of my eating, it was bad. But I don't feel bad about it now, and if I do eat past 6 o'clock at night, I'm not going to punish myself
Punish
over it.
yourself, not kill yourself, punish yourself.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And how was it impacting in your family before the session? What sort of things were you not able to do that you really wanted to do?
No, I wouldn't say really. I mean, I think going away on holiday was a bit of an issue for me,
Mm.
because every worst case scenario could happen, and I wouldn't go away and enjoy myself with my husband. I would be worrying constantly all the time, and I wouldn't enjoy it. So now I'm going to Rome in September,
Oh, nice.
and I'm really looking forward to it. The dog's covered, the kids are covered. I mean, my kids are grown up anyway, but I'm not going to worry about them. I'm going to focus on those 3 days and enjoy myself.
Brilliant. Yeah. And we working together, as you said, I show you tools and techniques as well, don't
Yeah.
I? It's not, we do the session, which is amazing, where we regress back to, in your case, when anxiety first became an issue under hypnosis. How did you
Mm.
find the hypnosis? Because was it something you was a bit worried about to start with, or?
Well, I was it was really something unknown to me. I wasn't expecting what happened. And I think literally you started the session and I was overwhelmed with emotion and anxiety. It just literally come from my stomach, and it was overwhelming, and I cried so much. And it was quite interesting because after the session, my parents came round, and I asked my mum certain things about what had come up in that session, and she was like, "How do you remember that you was this age? How comes that there?" And I didn't even think you was there when that happened. So
Oh,
it was interesting to discuss it with her after the session. Um, and when you took me through from my childhood and took me as a child, my 5-year-old child, back to my home now where I am with my family, it was sealing it. Basically, it was like saying goodbye to that part of me that was holding me back.
oh, it's amazing, isn't it? That I love doing that inner child work. That was
Yeah,
really good.
it's brilliant.
It's
Yeah,
quite I mean, you would have witnessed this when I first spoke to you, when I tried to explain how this works, and I say to you, look, it's quite difficult to explain, but once you've been through it, you'll know what
yeah.
I mean. And you kind of get that now, don't you? Because it's quite.
Oh, absolutely. My friends that know that I've gone through it have been fascinated by it and have asked me questions about it. And everyone's got demons from past. I do think
Mm.
everybody, and I highly recommend it because it was confronting my past and confronted childhood anxiety that had been with me since all this time. I mean, I'm nearly 49 now, and I've been living with that since I was 5 years old. So to address it and basically nurture that 5-year-old child and say it's okay now, look what I've got. I feel quite emotional talking about it actually,
Yeah.
but it was a massive it had a massive impact on me.
And I
Yeah,
remember with your session, you didn't have a scene, so to speak, to start with, did you? You just had that, you were saying about that real big feeling engulfing
yeah,
your body.
yeah.
And he was going, and I think that was quite unnerving for you at the time, wasn't it? So I don't know what's happening to me. So I said,
Well,
it's fine. Yeah.
yeah,
just go with
Yeah.
the feeling. And then the scenes came after that. So you were holding it very much in your body. And that's what happens, right? So when we are young and we create these belief systems, I can't remember what yours were now, but your body reacts to it. And as a small child, your body's remembered that reaction. And as you get older, like, you know, just before your session, your body was still reacting in exactly the same way, wasn't it?
It
Was
was.
the same feelings that you have now, you had in the current adult world to what you had back then, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It was, I mean, I can't explain, as I say, you can't explain it. But my feelings, my predominant feelings at the time of my regression therapy with you was feelings of worthlessness and not deserving.
Mm.
Doesn't deserve anything is how I felt. But now I do deserve what I've got and my family and my lovely life I've got, and I am so deserving of that. So whereas 6 months ago, no, and I feel confident saying that now. I remember you saying to me in one session, yes, I want you to say it, and it was really like hard for me to say, and I felt uncomfortable saying it, but I don't feel uncomfortable saying it now at all.
No, and that's the thing, because and that's the point. We do like a 4-step process, don't we? Step one, we go through, and in one session we'll go through, and I say it's like we've done this in one session, but one session lasts a month, really, doesn't it? But
Yeah,
we get together in a coaching session first, where we go through and really now in a little bit more detail where you currently are and where do you want to be, and we prepare for the session. Then we get together again for the session, and in this instance you came to me, and you were
yeah.
lucky enough to have the gorgeous Luther in your session, wasn't
Oh,
it?
bless him. I was.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
And then in that session, they're 2-3 hours long. It just depends, doesn't it? Even longer sometimes. But that's where we go to the root cause, and we identify your limiting beliefs and eradicate them there and then in a session. And then
yeah,
do the recording, and that's the permanence part, isn't it? And that's where we've been into your brain, we've rebooted it, and now we're realigning it now with these new powerful beliefs. So you didn't think you was good enough before, so it was like putting in, I'm amazing, I'm phenomenal, and all
yeah.
good stuff, but also future pacing to what you want your life to look like, which is where you are now, right?
Yeah, and you still have to continue doing that mindset. It's not, as you say, it's not an instant fix, and it's not going to fix you forever. You have to just have that mindset all of the time, because that anxiety and those thoughts of doubt come in your head again, and you're like, no, yes, I am good, and you change. Whereas before, you're just listening to that voice in your head saying, you can't do that.
Mm.
You don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to be that. Well, now I don't have that. If it does try and creep in, I tell it to piss off, basically.
Exactly, but that's the whole point of it, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
teaching you tools and techniques that
yeah,
in the real world, things are still going to happen, but nowhere near like they were before. But we don't live in a world of unicorns and rainbow. Well, do have a few rainbows, don't we? But
yeah,
we still live in a society that is so busy, and we're in that heightened state of awareness all the
yeah.
time. But what you've done is you've learned to control your brain. So Marissa Peer always quotes about your mind being like a wild horse, but you need to be a horse trainer to know what to do with it. So what we've done now is you've learned how to be your own horse trainer.
Yeah, and I've also learned so much from you that I pass that on to my daughter or my son, those techniques, because she's just had a baby, so she's like, oh, my body likes, would you speak to someone else like that? Would you speak to them?
I
No.
go, where's my mum gone?
Yourself like that. Don't speak about yourself like that. You're this, you're that, you're lovely, and it helps her as well.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Because
Yeah.
doing what I do now, I haven't always done this, and I love doing it, because it's, hearing what you're saying now, just, oh my God, it just melts my heart. And I just feel so proud that I'm able, to help people like yourself to do that. But then you still have that ripple effect, don't you, of, like you just said, about how you're then helping other people. But
Yeah.
I think also because of the changes that you've made, it makes a huge impact on your family anyway, because they're seeing this more positive mum, and the mum that now wants to go out and do things.
Yeah.
You know, and it must have had a positive effect with your marriage as well, because you're opened your world up a little bit more, haven't you, outside of your bubble?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It has. It's changed massively. It's been a life changer. And when I hear people going on about, their anxiety, and I just think, oh, just, I tell them about Julie, go and see her, one session, it's a working process, but your mindset will change and it will help massively.
Yeah. And like you say, you still have to work on yourself. But what we also learn when we get together as well was about the importance of self-care, isn't it? About putting yourself first,
Yeah,
and doing like that morning routine to spend time for you.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that
100%.
is learning all that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the new thing I've done, which I don't normally do, like I'll just probably get my nails done very occasionally if I was going on a holiday. Well, now I get my eyelashes done every 2 weeks. So that's something that I've kept doing ever since April, since our last session, because that's something nice that I like to do for myself. And even my husband, I'll phone him up and say, you need to get home early tonight because I've got my eyelashes. He's like, is that really? Yeah, it is important because I want it done and it's important to me and I want to keep doing it. So that's
Brilliant.
a massive change. It might be a little thing to some people, but to me, it's quite a massive change because I'm putting myself first and I'm doing something nice for myself that makes me feel good about myself. So
yeah, it's that domino effect, isn't it?
yeah,
and if mummy's happy, then everyone's happy.
absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And one of the stories I loved as well was about one of the things we put in the recording actually was about you being able to get in the car by yourself and drive, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you had a friend that you wanted to go and see, but you just couldn't.
Early.
So tell them a little bit about that.
So that was well, so we arranged to meet on the 20th June, I think it was, or May. It might have been May. No, it was May, 20th of May. And that morning I just got up, got Mindy, put her in the car.
Mindy's a dog, by the way, guys.
Yeah, my dog. Because she's got, we're going to go on a dog walk, but it was just, I was fine. She gave me landmarks and stuff on the way, and I just listened to the sat nav. I didn't panic. And if I did start feeling a bit panicky, I thought, well, what am I going to do? Just pull over, phone Deb and say, oh, I'm here. Where am I from you? And she said, I'll just come and get you, or I'll tell you, but I was calm and I'd done it. And I literally pulled on her driveway and she gave me a massive hug.
Oh.
How proud she was of me. But to some people, they think, really? What? Really? Yes, it was. It was a massive thing for me. And I did it. And I'm going again in next few weeks. We're going again, so in August. So it's not something in my mindset. I thought, I'm going to just do that at once because say I can do it. I've done it. It's something I want to continue to do.
So is that giving you a bit more independence now? The fact you can get in the car on your own?
Yeah, it has.
So that's huge in itself, isn't it? Because before, I guess you would have had to rely on someone else to take you, or you wouldn't have gone.
Just wouldn't have gone, or I would have said, come to me. But now I will go.
Yeah, so for your friend as well, that was really nice because she for the first time she was able to have you go into her and she could entertain you.
Yeah, she loved it. And we both had such a lovely day. And I stayed till midday, came home, had the rest of the day with my husband. And yeah, but I felt as if I'd really achieved something by just doing that.
And one of the other thing, I mean, we do many things, but I mean, bearing in mind, guys, this is like over a month period, isn't it? That's all we're talking here. So we did the prep session, hour and a half. Then we did your actual session, 2-3 hours, whatever it was, probably longer because we were probably chatting.
Hours, yeah.
And then we did the recording period, so you have access to me during that time as well. And then we have another final session at the end of that 21, 28 days, where we go back and we literally go back through the form and we go, how do you feel about that? And you smashed it out of the park because you did tick quite a few issues in there. You go, no, don't feel like that anymore. Yeah, no, fine.
Yeah.
wasn't it? It was.
It was really good. And actually, when you sent me the summary through, you emailed it over to me. I actually got quite emotional reading it because I thought I felt as if I'd really achieved something massively, and I was really proud of myself.
So you should.
Yeah, I was really proud. Everything, that was on that form it was so negative, and I felt like I knew, that person's gone. That has gone, and I feel like this is me, and I got quite emotional reading it all, actually.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I'll say lovely. I mean, yeah,
No,
it is lovely, isn't it?
for myself, yeah,
And so you should. You've done amazing, and you put the work in. Like we were saying, if you want change to happen, absolutely, I can facilitate it for you.
yeah,
You have to do the work.
absolutely, yeah,
The session itself is really important because that's when we get to the real juicy stuff that's all hidden in your subconscious mind.
yeah,
But the recording part's super important as well, because that is all part of the permanence part. So to dedicate time every day to listen to the recording can feel sometimes like it's quite a lot to do. But that's when the beauty of it is, that's when you then create or add it in to your morning routine or your nighttime routine, isn't it? So that
yeah,
you're taking time out for you. So it's
yeah,
actually preparing you to make time for yourself.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it works for me at night. I like listening to it at night. I don't always finish it either. I wake up and I'm like, I've gone to sleep. So
That's right. It's
it's
still going in though. That's the
still
thing.
going. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
And you can still listen to that whenever you want as well. Whenever you want like a little boost, you can just
yeah.
dig it out. That's absolutely fine.
I have done.
Yeah,
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 really.
yeah.
It's helped me massively.
And I'm so pleased for you because and that's why I do what I do when I, you know, have conversations like I'm having with you.
Yeah,
And yeah, it was a little bit of hard work, but it was only for a month, wasn't it? And then you got the ongoing building up of, know, the changes that you've made. You want to carry on building on them and enhancing on them. And we also
yeah,
look at goals, don't we? And it helped you really think about what it was you wanted going forward.
yeah. Did. Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited about deciding to sell my house and move more into the countryside. Not sure I'm going to go right into the countryside now, only because of my daughter. But it's the thought of doing that before was well out of my comfort zone, and selling my bubble and being somewhere else. No, but now it's exciting to think about doing that. I mean, I went to one of my old friends' weddings last week on my own because my husband was away. I went on my own. I would
Brilliant.
never have done it before,
Oh, that's
but
brilliant. And that just shows you the depth between opening up that bubble, doesn't it? And
yeah,
having that independence. Whereas you would have just stayed at home and probably done not much there, wouldn't you?
excuse to not gone. But I said to myself, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? All your old friends are going to be there. You're not going to be sat at the table on your own. And I did. I had a right blast. I was with all my friends. It was like a little school reunion sort of thing, and we had the best time. But I wouldn't have done that before because I wouldn't have gone anywhere without Rich. So
Oh, it's amazing. I,
yeah,
I am super proud of you. I really am.
I'm
And
proud. Yeah, but I
and
just anybody that is feeling how I was feeling, you don't have to live your life like that. And go to Julie, get help because it has transformed me.
oh, that's so amazing. And I know doing this has been very kind of you to do because it's not something that I expect, but many of my clients do actually, which is amazing because they want to share their success. Yeah.
That's I agree to it because I want people to listen to me and how my story and how I was before I had the therapy and how it's changed me. And you don't have to live your life in misery or be pulled back by anxiety. Grab it by the horns, do the sessions, do the work, and you will feel so much better.
And what I love about your instant as well, right? So when you first came to me, it was with the overall anxiety. And when we went through your form, there was like confidence, self-esteem, lack of motivation,
Yeah,
procrastination, panic attacks, all sorts of things. And I don't know if you remember, but I'll say to you, look, that you've ticked quite a few things, but it doesn't mean we need you know, if someone ticks 20 things, right, it doesn't mean you need 20 sessions. It just means you might need 2 or maybe 3 as opposed to 1, right? But on your one, I said I would have said the same.
Yeah.
But because we got to the root, right? And when we went through yours, we went tick, 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 tick. So we actually got pretty much all of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, over time you might come up with something else and then you'll come back, won't you? But
absolutely, yeah, definitely. I will never go back to that though. How
no,
I
you
was
won't.
struggling again. Then yeah, you're on my contact, so I would go back because at the moment I'm in such a good place. It's been life changing. So
Amazing. So listen, thank you so much for doing this. I do really, really appreciate it. And you're going to be all over my social media now. I'm on my YouTube channel. And I think you probably covered off everything, but is there any one last word you'd want to say to anyone?
Yeah, the only thing I would say to anyone, that if you are suffering with anxiety and it's holding you back in your life, anything you want to do in your life and you can't because of anxiety, please call Julie. And just that one session, it changed me. So don't live your life in misery. Take the bull by the horns and make your life better.
Invest in yourself, basically, isn't it?
In yourself, exactly. You're so worth. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, darling.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. And for anyone that's watching, you'll find my details on my social media or on whatever your medium you're watching this on. And don't hesitate, as Sam said, just contact me and we can have the discussion and find out how I can help you become unstoppable, potentially in 30 days.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.